Okay, and you are Kristian Donaldson,
Hello.
and you're here at Staple. Tell us about some of the projects you have going on.
Okay, well, currently I'm working on a book called The Massive for Dark Horse, written by Brian Wood. Brian Wood and I collaborated on Supermarket several years ago. It was a great experience. I really enjoy working with Brian. So we're back together again. It's an original property that Brian conceived of and that we're co-creating. Currently, it's being debuted in prequel stories in Dark Horse Presents.
Okay.
So Dark Horse Presents number 8 has the first 8-page prequel story, and then issues 9 and 10 will have the next 2 parts.
Okay.
Each of those introduces a thanks. Each of those introduces a main character into the equation, because it really is kind of like there are 3 main characters and kind of like a ensemble cast of crew on this ship. So yeah, these are just kind of giving a little richness to the backstory, but the book takes place much later in the timeline. Yeah, I was talking earlier about some of my process. Because this book has so many kind of realistic aspects and so many elements of like real architecture and construction, military equipment, and whatever. For several years now, I've been doing 3D modeling, like SketchUp, which really kind of helps me kind of achieve the kind of directorial outcome that I'm after, so rather than just like pulling an item from memory or searching for still picture reference. To have an object gives me the ability to design and make real choices around the environments and sets and elements that I'm tasked with telling the story around. So I don't know, it's a weird kind of new way of working, and some of us are kind of hopping on it and adopting it, and I find it gives me some freedom and latitude to kind of get it done the way I want. And you can really frame your shots the way you want too. You can get like big scale. You can push the camera too, so it looks more like forced. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. I really do enjoy working that way. So the ongoing series starts in June.
Okay. And it's originally being presented in the Dark Horse books, is that right?
Yeah,
Very cool.
Dark Horse Presents numbers 8, 9, and 10.
Okay.
With Massive number 1 coming out in June.
Okay. And tell us about Supermarket in 99 Days.
Okay, yeah. Supermarket was a 4-issue miniseries from IDW that Brian wrote and I drew. I pencil inked it and colored it, as well as some of the book design, the logos, and some of the type. I was given a ton of creative freedom with it. There was very little notes to be had. They just kind of let me kind of put it together the way I wanted, and it's kind of a race and chase story about a teenage girl on the run after her parents are killed. She's being chased by 2 warring mob factions that are the Japanese Yakuza and the Swedish porno mafia. And it's a fun, cool book, and like it's a couple years old now, but I still think it kind of holds some of its like modern, kind of modernness somewhat well. And it was a very complete piece of work for me at the time, in the sense that everything I really wanted to kind of get out and do, I got to do. So it's a very complete mark of me as an artist at that time. And the 99 Days is a Vertigo crime graphic novel that came out in August of last year. It's a story about a former child soldier that has grown up and now lives in America and is a detective, and he's kind of dealing with some I guess fallout from his past, and dealing with being a survivor of something so horrible. And it takes place in LA. It's written by Matteo Casali, who's a very cool, very nice, talented guy. who the entire time I worked on this book, and I worked on it for a couple years, I had never met him, but I finally met him after it was all done. We got to kind of like breathe a sigh of relief and talk about it. And he couldn't be a cooler guy. He's Italian. He lives in Italy, and yeah, I hope to go over there and like hang out in Italy someday. But, yeah, it's an interesting book. I started employing some of the digital techniques on that book.
Right.
That's my first one that I inked all digitally and penciled all digitally, and it's the first time I employed the 3D modeling, which
Very
really
cool.
came in handy.
And how long have you been doing this?
Let's see, my first comic was an Image comic that came out in August 2004, so it'll be 8 years soon. So yeah, I've been doing it pretty much right out of college.
Very cool.
So yeah, going on 8 years. It just doesn't seem that long. It doesn't. I mean, it seriously doesn't seem that long at all. But I don't know. It's cool.
Was it easy to break in the business, or?
I mean, I wouldn't call it easy. I might have just been kind of lucky. I don't know. Like, I met a writer and we put together an image pitch and it just got approved. I mean, it was pretty much that, like, that. But I don't know. I wouldn't say like. I'd say the challenges can begin at breaking in.
Yeah.
Like kind of figuring out how to how to like handle the lifestyle of freelance working and working by yourself, and it's a different type of lifestyle than most people do, and you have to kind of deal with girlfriends, family, significant others, kind of understanding the way you go about it. So like I would say in the year since I started, it's been kind of a constant like learning experience and battle, not just necessarily on the artistic creative front, but also just on like figuring out how to kind of maintain your own little weird small business in a some would say in an arguably strange industry, which I'm very positive on comics and the comic industry, and I've never had a bad experience with a publisher.
Cool.
But it is just a strange territory to navigate. So I don't know. We're all kind of in the same boat with that.
Very cool. So besides the Massive, which is coming out soon, do you have any other projects that you are looking to do? Until I'm done with the Massive, I'm all about the Massive. I'm not even doing covers or pinups for. I'm just like saying no to everything and just staying buckled on the Massive. But I've had the ambition to write and draw my own comic for a long time. Cool.
It just the time and opportunity hasn't come yet. But I do write a bit just kind of for myself, for something to move on later when the time does come. So, but yeah, I absolutely plan on doing something, hopefully.
Cool. And if people wanted to find you on the net or look some of your stuff up, where can they do that at?
It's KristianDonaldson.com, Christian spelled with a K, so KristianDonaldson.com. My Twitter is at Drawing Things, and that's my Tumblr as well.
Oh,
so
cool.
you can find me there.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.